Namaste everyone. Welcome to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Today will be the 17th day, and I want to invite Dr. T.P. Shashikumar to lead the class. Dr. T.P. Ji, floor is yours.
Namaskaram. Thank you, Dilip ji. It's the one more month to go before the end of Bhagavad Gita. We are going to complete the first level. We thought we will be able to finish, but later we thought we should not hurry up. Some inputs from people who are listening, they wanted me to go slow. Now we are on one of the most important, in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, out of 18 chapters, 9th chapter. Hopefully we will be able to finish 9th chapter today. There are 34 slokas. We completed 22nd one also. The 22nd one was one which I must have quoted maximum number of times. I told last time. Ananyaschintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogatshemam vahamyaham. Where God, Bhagavan Krishna, is giving a contract guarantee, a mutual agreement between the devotee and the God. He says, I will take care of you. In the sense, whatever you learned, whatever you earned, whatever you gained, I assure that will not go from you. If you gained knowledge, you will retain your knowledge. If you gained wealth, you will retain it. That is the most peaceful thing. Most of the people become upset when they are not able to remember what they learned. If you are not rich, no problem. Once you are rich, coming to a lower level is a big problem. Similarly, becoming famous is not that simple. But much more difficult is to retain that status of being famous. One day you can come in newspaper, but every day your name will not come in newspaper. See, if you are in politics, probably one day. If you get first rank in an examination, that day you will come. But not necessarily every year you subsequently get ranks, right? So, Bhagavan says, I will guarantee you not what you get, but guarantee you that happiness. So here, exactly from 20 to 25, the 6 slokas are how the benefit of the fruits of worship, with the motive or without a motive. You want to get something or you don't want to get something, don't worry. Because earlier it was told, you should have detachment, you should not get too much expectations from your work. But Bhagavan slightly is becoming liberal to the people, or Arjuna saying that no, you should also have some motive behind, otherwise you will not. So here he says, your worship is more important and keep a motive. So kama is action, sakama is good action. So if your action is good, then you can have some desire for the result. Nishkama is very good. I don't want, no, I don't get attached to the results. But then, if you are attached to the result, assume that now we are discussing Bhagavad Gita. I should have some desire of completing Bhagavad Gita, some people attending, some people responding, some people asking questions. How can I be totally detached from the activity of discussing a subject where I don't expect my people who are listening to me don't even respond? So am I looking at some desire? Yes, I have a desire. Is it bad desire? No. That is called a sakam. A desire which is for a good purpose. So you always can have a desire. So now you know how Bhagavan became liberal. You don't have to become totally detached. Don't get away from your result of your action. But think about good result from your action, whether it is giving a better result for many people who are in front of you. Okay, are they going to be okay? Now there are maybe 20 people, 21 people listening. To whom should I talk? Those people who will carry this to the somebody else. If you are only listening it for your selfishness, then probably yes. Again, my karma doesn't become satkarma. It is not a good karma. So I am always concerned about where am I going to use it. Giving food is okay, but my job is to see that he consumes food or that food is given to somebody who really requires it. I cannot say that I don't care once it is given, I don't care about what is he does with that. He cannot just throw it. Then I am concerned. I also make sure that whatever food I gave is utilized for a better purpose. He is not going to throw it. Similarly, knowledge also. So what is good, you all become torch bearers in your life. So as far as I am concerned, it is my concern that whatever is given by my guru to me, I have to distribute. If I don't distribute and I only keep it for my knowledge and then start becoming selfish, I am doing wrong to my guru. In turn, that goes up to the concept of God. I am not doing sakama karma. Good karma I am not doing. I am doing bad karma. So this is what is the concept of sakama and nishkama. So these slokas are basically for those purposes. And the last part of this 9th chapter, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yogam, is how do your karma with sakama, with full devotion, becomes from sakama to totally nishkama, without any desire, because you are not having your desire, because you are doing it with full devotion. When you do it devotion, with the full devotion, any good karma which you do becomes a karma which is assigned by Bhagavan to you. Therefore you are not the owner. Therefore you don't think about the result. It will come to you. That is what it says. It will come to you. By default it comes to you. You don't have to get more concerned about it. Okay. This is what it says. Sloka number 23. Having done 22, we will go to Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yogam, 9th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, 23rd sloka. Ye apyanya devata bhakta yajande sraddhayanvita te api mameva kaundeya yajandi avidhipurvakam without specifying to which god you are going to surrender, getting devoted. The devotion to other gods also is being mentioned by Krishna here. A son of Kundi. What is that? Kaundeya. Son of Kundi, Kaundeya. What is that? The devotion you are doing faithfully to other gods other than me, but they all, by the action which they are doing, is not in the right path. That's what Bhagavan says. Because action is more important. So Vishnu is the god of action. Without action, you keep on chanting some sloka, praising somebody else and wasting your time actually. Karma is more important, which is sakama karma, which is beneficial for more people. That is what Bhagavan says here. Therefore, your action in the war field is more better than closing your eyes and chanting mantras or praying. That is what he says. Any action. You be into activity. That is what is essential. Ye apyanya devata bhakta. Ye apyanya devata bhakta. Different other celestial gods. Yajande saddhayanvita. Faithfully yajande. Worshipping. Te api mameva kaundeya. Only to me, he kaundeya. Yajandi. That to worship vidhipurvakam. That is the actual best method to be followed. So that means you have to be a devotee of me, because earlier also he said ananyas chintayanto mam yajana paryupasate. Don't go to different gods and then pray only to me. That means wherever you are focused, that focus is essential. Where you have to focus in the creativity and the actions. That is more important. What is lacking in all these people, especially in the people who are more worried, concerned, those people who think they are bright and brilliant, they don't have focus. What is lacking is concentration. So Bhagavan here says concentration is more important. Be focused. And you are with me now because you are listening to Bhagavad Gita. You are already with me because Arjuna has posted Krishna as his chariot driver. Then what is to be done? Have full faith in him. Don't think about something else. You listen to me and say what I am doing is what you are asking me to do it. That faith should be there. Ye apyanna devata bhakta yachande sraddhayanyuta te api mameva kaundeya yajandi avidhipurvakam. Yajandi avidhipurvakam. That is what Bhagavan says. Now, 24th sloka. Aham hi sarvayatnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijanandi tatena atascha vandite tatvena atascha vandite. What does it say? Aham hi sarvayatnanam. Aham hi. It is me, I alone, I am. Of all that, I am the sarvayatnanam, doing the whole sacrifice. Bhokta cha prabhureva cha. For all the bhoktas who are all enjoying this world, who are all living in this world, for all of them, and prabhureva cha, and all their prabhus, all their gods, not those people who are living here. If at all they are believing somebody else who is in other celestial gods and goddesses, bhoktaja prabhurevacha natu mam abhijanandi. They all realize, abhijanandi, you understand, you realize what? Natu mam, there is nothing other than me. Natu mam, not but me. That means there is nobody else, not but me. I am the top of all of them. If you think everybody around this world, everybody who is in the other celestial bodies, where you depend and think about those gods, I am on top of all of them. Natu mam abhijanandi. It is not me, other than me, nobody else on the top of it. Understand this, realize it. Tatenam, tatvenam, tatvenam. All that in the nature. Tattva means what is in the nature. Tatvena. All that is in the nature. Tatvena. Ataha. And therefore, ataha. What is that? Chavandi. Chavandi. From where they come to this samsara, they come back to this samsara. All those people in the nature, they are reborn again and again, come back to this world. What happens to them? They fail to realize that I am the ultimate, the topmost power for all these people who are living in this world and above them. All the gods, above them I am existing. And these people don't realize it, they come back again. Tatvena atah chavandite. They keep on coming back to this world again and again. Aham hi sarvayatnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha nadu mama abhijanandi nadu mam abhijanandi tatvena atachavandi te tatvena atachavandi te. Now sloka number 25. Yandi devavrata devan, yandi devavrata devan, pitrun yandi pitruvrata, pitrun yandi pitruvrata. Bhudani Yandi Budejya Bhudani Yandi Budejya Yandi Madhyajino Api Mam Yandi Devavrada Devan Yandi go Devavratan, other gods and goddesses who are all there in the celestial world as gods and goddesses. Devan, above that the celestial gods, the topmost god. Pitrun Yandi Pidruvrata, Pitrun Yandi Pidruvrata. For all the ancestors, go back to back and understand who is the ancestors who kept on worshipping whom. Think about all those faiths and where they were having faith. Your earlier traditional people, where they had their faith. Budani Yandi Budejya, those other animals other than human being, where did they depend on their life? Budani Yandi, where did they go? All that after death, where did they go? While living, where did they go? Where does they come from? Understand all this. Budejya, worshipping all those not human, other Buddhas, other animals, other creatures, other flies, other small kidas, prani, living being who are not having this sort of a stature of human being, all the other lower animals, they are not spiritually high. Think about those people, all of them. They came, lived and went. Think about them. Where did they go? Yandi Madhyajino Api Mam. They all were my devotees. That means all of them joined with me or they came from me. They were all having only one God, and that is me. That's what Bhagavan says. Worship all those people who, gods who, other creatures who all lived in this world, all of them had only one. And what is that? Symbolically, this is what is action. Because Krishna, who is now talking all this, is one of the births of the earlier births. If you go back and then think about all those people, they all propagated only one message, that is action is important, karma is important. Good action is important. With that action you have devotion, then you become much better. That was the whole purpose of the combination of Lakshmi and Vishnu. And Krishna is the Vishnu's avatar, one of the incarnation of Vishnu. So action is important and Lakshmi is dhanam, the benefit out of it. So wherever Vishnu is there, Lakshmi is there. So Vishnu has to say, don't worry about that. It will come back to you. Without even having a desire, it will come to you. But what is to be done? You keep me close to you. Hold me tight. Therefore, Lakshmi will come to you. The benefit will automatically come to you. Don't think about it. That is what is done by every animal, every creature, every god, every goddesses who were part of this for long years. Yandi Devavrada Devan Pitrun Yandi Pidruvrada Bhudani Yandi Budejya Yandi Madhyajino Api Mam Madhyajino Api Mam, until up to this. So the motive is not a problem, but you understand everybody's motive was at the end to join with me. So if you have that desire, be with me now itself. Why do you want to wait for another Janma and then take another birth and then come back? So what is required? You keep the desire but full devotion. So now slowly Bhagavan is taking you to the full devotion. So 26 to 34, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. All the 9 slokas are only on devotion, which is an introduction for the next few chapters from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 up to 15, 16, 17 also. 18 is the conclusion chapter. That is where Bhagavad Gita will end. So the next few chapters, 6 chapters, are fully on devotion, bhakti. Now Bhagavan is coming directly to Bhakti. 26th sloka. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayaschati tad daham bhaktyupahrutam asnami priyatatmana. What is that to be offered to me to please me? And you have bhakti, you have whole devotion. So what is that you can give? You can give anything. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Toyam is water. You want to give water? Yes. Phalam, fruits. Pushpam, flower. Patram, leaf. Anything you can give. Whatever is available in the nature, you pluck it from somewhere, carry from somewhere and offer to me. Because all those are not yours. I created all of them. Where is that water coming from? Did you create water? No. Don't think that you created. You say that you paid money to get water. But where did you get the money? You think back all of them came from earth. And who is Vishnu? Vishnu is the God who is the owner of the earth. Yo me bhaktya prayaschanti. What is to be done? Devotionally you give it. With the full devotion you give it. But don't think that it is mine. No. See that it is collected with not your effort, but many people helped you. Therefore, you will become concerned about everybody around you. Yame bhaktya prayaschati. Who offers? Prayaschati means offers. How did you offer? With the bhakti. With the full devotion you should offer. That is what is essential. Offering is not essential. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. What you give is not important. How do you offer it? Ye me bhaktya prayaschati tadaham bhaktyupahrutam. To me, that which you give it to me, offered with bhaktyupahrutam. Hrutam is your heart, inner heart. And that, open it and then give it. With that heart you give it. Don't just do it ritualistically. With all the thought process inside that, the hridaya inside, your emotions inside, you give it to Bhagavan. Asnami priyatatmana. Whatever you give that item, asnami priyatatmana. With all the pure consciousness, when you give it to me, I love it. So what is important is, how do you offer? What do you offer is not important. So don't think that when you offer something, the cost of the item is what is important. What is important is the fashion in which you offer is more important. That is what Bhagavan says here. Okay, so whatever you give, it can be patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, yo me bhaktya prayaschati, tadaham bhaktyupahrutam, asnami priyatatmanaha. 27th sloka. Yat karoshi, yat snasi, yat karoshi, yat nasi, yat juhoshi, tadasi yat, tat tapasyasya kaundeya, tat kurushva madadarpanam. Tat karoshi, whatever you do. Yat snasi, whatever you eat. Yat snasi. Yat juhoshi, whatever you offer into the hoshi as a havis in the fire. Yat juhoshi, when you do yatna, whatever you offer inside, tadasi yat, all that gift what is given as like this. Yat tapasyasi, what is to be done? Perform it like a tapasi. Tapasi means full devotion into the Atma, Manas, Buddhi, everything has to be inside that. E Kaundeya, E Arjuna, Tat Karushya Madadarpanam. What you do, every action which you do also should be Mada Arpan. Surrender to me and then do it for me. When you do it for me, whatever you do becomes an offering to me. So it is not material, it is not activity, it is not item, patram, phalam, pushpam, toyam, all that doesn't matter. Your action also can be one of the offering. But how to do it? With full devotion. When you offer something to God, don't think about what is that He is going to return back to me. That is what every priest will chant when you wanted to give anything to God. You take either rice or coconut or flour or money or fruits or something, when you offer to God, Vairagyasiddhyartham samarpayami, Vairagyasiddhyartham samarpayami, Vairagyasiddhyartham samarpayami. Without any requirement, this devotee has come and then gave it to you. That is what is offering. Vairagyasiddhyartham. I don't want anything. With that devotion are you giving? Whatever you give, Bhagavan will take it as your arpanam. Yat karoshi, yat snasi, yat juhoshi, tadasi yat, tat tapasyasi kaundeya, tat karushya madadarpanam. What is given like that with the full devotion? Sloka number 28. What does it say? Shubha shubha phala. Shubha shubha phalairevam. Shubha ashubha phalairevam. Whether it is good or bad result. Shubha ashubha phalairevam. Mokshasye karma bandhane. Mokshase karma bandhane. Sannyasa yoga yuktatma. Vimukto mamupaishyasi. What is required? Vimukto. You get liberated. And then what will happen? Mamupakshasi. You shall come and reach me. You will come to me. I will be with you and you will be with me. When you get liberated. What is that liberation? I want. Keep on becoming a beggar. God doesn't like beggars. Nobody in this world like beggars. What is to be done? Give it without thinking of what I want. I want means selfish. That selfishness should be on. I want is to be out of your dictionary. Then everybody will start loving you. Shubha ashubha balairevam. Whether you do good things or bad things doesn't matter now. Earlier Bhagavan said good things. Now Bhagavan says good or bad things, what you do doesn't care. What is to be done? How do you do is more important. Shubha ashubha bhalairevam. How does it matter whether you are doing good or bad? Mokshaisya karma bandhanei. You have to get out of bondage of bandham is bondage. Karma bandham. Whatever action I do, what is the result which I will get? Keep on demanding with a contract. From that you should get moksha. Free from that. I did this for you, but you should do this for you. That is the contract. That becomes a bandham. That becomes a bandhanam. Get out of that bandhanam. Mokshaisya karma bandhanei. Sannyasa yoga mukta yuktatma. Sannyasi is one who doesn't have any attachment. Who doesn't depend on somebody else. He keeps on walking wherever he goes. Renunciation of self is there for him. The selfishness is not there. He lives for somebody else. Sannyasa yoga mukta yuktatma. Such atma who are in yoga yukta. That is what is yogi. Don't think about yogi is one who compete with others to win something. Either in politics or in power or in judiciary or in business or getting into something where he want. Such people only compete. When you are out of it, they are called sannyasis. Sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto amukvachasi. When such people come, getting liberated, they come to me. Shubha phalairevam mokshase karma bandhanei. Sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto amukvachasi. What a beautiful sloka is this. Same. Why Bhagavan is telling this? Because Arjuna started with that problem. I am not able to decide anything in my life. I am confused, I am depressed, I am in total confusion because karpanya dosho bahadasvabhava prachami tvam dharma sammudha cheda yat shreyasya nishchidam bruhitanme shishyasteham shatibam tvam prapannam. 7th sloka in the 2nd chapter, he deliberately told this and surrendered to Bhagavan. You tell me what should I do. And probably 9th chapter 28th is one of the answer for that. We also told in 18th chapter 66th sloka is one of the answer for that. What is that? Sarva dharman parityajya. 18th chapter 66th sloka is the ultimate answer. But in between Bhagavan is giving little more in terms of developing him by giving some more hopes. Like you cannot reach into 18th step. You have to go to first step, second step, third step. So here Bhagavan is giving in the 9th chapter, 20th sloka as one step. 18th chapter, 66th is the last one. For which question? Karpanya doshopahata swabhava pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yat shreyasya nishchidam bruhi tanme shishyasteham chadhimam tvam pravannam. When you surrender, then only Bhagavan started the class. So I told you Bhagavad Gita starts with the surrendering, 2nd chapter, 7th sloka. 11th sloka onwards, Bhagavad Gita really starts. 66th sloka in 18th chapter it ends. And the ending is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamegam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarva Pabebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shucha. Such people don't have to be sad. Ma Shucha, don't have to be sad. What is to be done? Surrender to me totally. Here also same concept. Shubha Ashubha Balairevam Mokshasya Moksham. Happiness is what is that you want. Karma Bandhainahi. Don't become binded to your action. Don't become selfish. Sannyasa Yukta Yuktatma, with all that devotion like a yogi sannyasi. Vimukto Amubachasi. And such people who get to surrender to me totally, they will get that happiness. So is it not one step closer to the 18th chapter, 66th sloka? We realize it. Yeah, Bhagavan is taking us. And this could be one of the introduction for how to get into that path. 29th sloka. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. Name dveshya asti na priyaha. Name dveshya. Name deshyo asti na priyaha. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Mahite teshu chapyaham. Samohyam. Samoham. Samoham. Sarvabhuteshu. Every bhutatma, every living being on this world, for all of them, equally, for every equally, Samoham, equally, Aham, me, I am there equally for Sarvabhuteshu, for everybody. I am distributed myself to everybody equally. I have no favoritism to anyone. Name dveshya asti na priyaha. I don't have any deshya. Deshya means enemies. Name na priyaha. I don't have anybody who is very dear to me. I don't have any separation between good people and bad people. I love everybody equal. Good animal and bad animal. Higher caste and lower caste. No. Like sun, see, Vishnu is actually representing sun. Sun gives the Rishmi, the rays, the sunlight and the heat, every part of the globe equally distributed without discrimination. So Krishna, Vishnu, sun, all same. No discrimination at all. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshya asti na priyaha. I don't have enemy, don't have people who are close to me. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Everyone who is devoted to me. Do you have devotion to me? That's only what I see. Mayite teshu chapyaham. And those people will mayite teshu chapyaham. They will come and stay with me. What is the guarantee? Bhagavan says, do you have bhakti? Don't worry about what you have done earlier. Now onwards, do you have? That time, if Bhagavan gets convinced, if I get convinced, I will take you. I don't care how you behaved with me earlier. Now onwards, are you ready? For what? Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshi asti na priyaha. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mahite teshu chapyaham. For such people who are devoted, no hatred to me, no against somebody, I don't care how you were earlier. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshya asti na priyaha. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mahite teshu chapyaham. I will take each one of you closer to me. You can be with me if you start bhakti, devotion. Do your action with the devotion. Until now, how you were, don't worry. You were materialistic, forget about it. Now onwards, can you be with Savidya, good Vidya? That is starting now. There is no past, only future is there. Adi, next to 30th sloka. Abhichet Suduracharo, Abhichet Suduracharo, Bhajande Mamanya Mam Mananya Bhak, Bhajande Mamanyananya Bhak, Sadhureva Sa Mandavya, Sadhureva Sa Mandavya, Samyag Vyavasayito Hi Samaha. Api ched suduracharo. Api, even if until now, saduracharo, what evilest things what you have done in your life. Earlier, if you have done wrong, don't worry. Bhajande mamanya bhak, exclusive devotion. Without anya, different things don't think. Fully worship. Be with me. Sadhureva sa mandavya. Sadhureva. All the righteous things, only that. Sa mandavya. Considering all that action which is good for right, nice people, for good things, good actions. Samyak vyavasito hi sa. With that property, what is to be done? Have a contract. Vyavasito hi. Resolve yourself, commit yourself, give a guarantee. What is the guarantee? Certainly, I am going to be with you. Give that guarantee. And be like sadhu. Sadhu is total devoted. Be godly devoted sadhu. Sadhu. Totally devoted from now onwards. Whatever you have done wrong, don't worry about it. From now onwards, be a good fellow. Abhichet Saduracharo. Abhichet Saduracharo. Duracharam, bad things you have done. Bhajande Mamanya Bhak. Bhajande Mamanya Bhak. Without thinking anything else. Now be with me. Sadhureva Samadhya Mandavya. Now onwards, be a sadhu, totally devoted person. Samyak Vyavasito hi saha. Then I give you a contract that you will be with me. What a liberal Bhagavan is this. Forget about what you have done. Now onwards, be my bhakta. That is what Bhagavan says. Be my bhakta. Be devoted to me. All bad things what you have done will be cleaned. Don't worry about it. Chipram bhavadi dharmatma. Chipram bhavadi dharmatma. Shashwat chandim nigaschati. 31st sloka. Chipram bhavadi dharmatma. Shashwat chandim nigaschati. Kaundeya pradijanihi. Kaundeya pradijanihi. Name bhaktya pranashyati. Name bhakta pranashyati. Name bhaktya pranashyati. Name bhakta. Come to me. A devotee, come to me. What is to be done? When you come to me and join me, pranashyati, automatically perish. You will become great. No doubt. Don't have a doubt on this. Chipram bhavadi dharmatma. Chipram bhavadi dharmatma. Quickly. Don't be delayed. Don't keep on thinking what to do. No. Chipram, now itself, quickly. Bhavadi, become. Dharmatma, virtuous person. Immediately become virtuous person. Chipram bhavadi dharmatma. Shashwachandim nigaschati. Then what you will get? Shashwachandi. Shandi you will get. Shashwada Shandi. Shashwada Shandi. That is Shashwachandim. Shashwada means permanent, long lasting. Shandi is peace. That's what everyone wants. Do you want a immediate, long, short, sustaining happiness, or you want a long-term happiness? Everybody will say, I want to be peaceful long-term. That is what the Bhagavan says. Shashwachandim nigaschati. You will attain. Nigaschati. You will attain. What do you will attain? That happiness, that peacefulness you will attain. When Chipram bhavadi dharmatma. Now itself quickly surrender to become a total virtuous devotee. Kaundeya pradijanihi. Hey Arjuna, pradijanihi. Declare. Declare. that you are with me. Take an oath, surrender to me. Name bhakta pranashyati. Totally be with me. Then you will not have this doubt. What to do, how to do, why to do, karpanya dosham. That confusion will not be there, and actionless, stable state, actionless, doing nothing. That state will not be there, because Bhagavan represents the god of actions. You will be always activity. That is what Bhagavan says. Be active. So what is the essence of Chipram Bhavati Dharmatma? You do your action. Don't say I don't have anything to do in this world. Hey, that's not correct. Because you depend on many people to live in this world. You have many things to do to many people in the world. Because you are living, you are not alone. You are a social being, you are a human being. You have to be human, you have to be social. You have a great job to do for the whole world. If you are not doing and you are not in karma, you are useless. That is what Bhagavan says. Don't be like that. Chipram bhavati dharmatma. You become aware of your dharma, virtuousness. You are a high human being with a great ability to do many things in this world. Every moment be active. Shashwachandim nigaschati. Then you attain that lasting peace. You become happy throughout. Kaundeya pratijanihi. That you should do, Kaundeya. Don't become selfish. My relative, what will happen to my great grandfather, what will happen to my cousins, what will happen to my brothers, all that you don't think. Do it for the general public, for common cause. Name bhakta pranashyati. Then you will become my bhakta. That karma is more important. Do the dharmic karma. Then your dharma is karmic, karmic is dharmic, dharmic is devotion, then long lasting peace will be with you. Now 32nd sloka. Mam hi partha vyapasritya. Mam hi partha vyapasritya. Ye apisyu papayo nayaha. Ye apisyu papayo nayaha. Striyo vaishyo tatha shudra te api yanti param gadi. Whatever category you belongs to. Mam hi partha vyapasritya. Certainly Partha, Arjuna, the son of Prith is Parthan. Vyapasritya, refuge in me, surrender to me. Apisyu papayo nayaha. Nobody takes birth as papi. Evil birth is not there. Low birth is not there. Birth by itself is a good karma. Unfortunately, some religion practice keep saying you by birth is a evil being. No. Bharatiya Shastram always says by birth everybody is great being. By birth we are all God's kid. No papa at all. You are not taking birth because you have papa. Don't think that. By birth you are a great person. Then what is to be done? Apisyu papayoneya. There is no birth like a papa. Striyo vaishyo tatha shudra. Let it be male or female. Let it be Vaishya, Shudra, Kshatriya, Brahmana, whatever category you belong to. Te api yanti param gadi. Every one of you can attain the superior gadi, param gadi. You can surrender to me. He who is telling this, the God himself is a Yadava, other backward community as far as the Indian system of today's category is concerned, backward community. No, in Vedic literature there is nothing called a backward, higher caste, lower caste and all that. Everybody is equal. With their whatever action which they do, based on their swabhava, based on their yoni, they are categorized. Mam hi parthya vyapasritya yo abhisyu papayo naya striyo vaishya tatha shudra te api yanti param gatim. Everybody can reach me without any categorization, without any separation, no discrimination at all. Already Bhagavan said, irrespective of any creature in the world, they can attain me. Kim punar brahmana punya, kim punar brahmana punya. Those people who are aware of the literature, knowledge, that people are called brahmana. They are punya. Understanding, because in the first few chapters itself Bhagavan said knowledge is important. Those people who attained knowledge, kim punar brahmana punya, that knowledge you can attain and become higher caste. That caste is not today's category. Those who can use their brain, understand things and then deliver, teach that to somebody else, they are called brahmanas. Kim punar, their brain is being used. Uttar Pradesh is used. The upper part of the body is used. Kim punar brahmano punya. They are all meritorious people. Bhakta rajashayas tada. Devotees are, saintly people are there. They are taken care of by the Kshatriyas. Rajashaya tada bhakta. Those devotees who have power. Anitya asukham logam. Anitya asukham logam. They are into this routine world which is not nityam. Anitya. They are not joyful. Asukham. They have problem. They will always have problems. Asukham logam. World is not permanent. World is not full of happiness. There are mix of all this. Imam prapya bhajasya mam. So how to achieve that? Nityata, permanency. Sukham, happiness. How to achieve this sukham, permanent sukham? Imam prapya bhajaswamam. Come and be a devotee of me. Complete devotion will take you there. So that I told you the 9th chapter last part is full of devotion. Bhakti, 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 bhakti. And the next few chapters are also going to be full of bhakti. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajashayastada anitya asukham lokam imam prapya bhajaswamam. Now, last sloka in this chapter, 34th sloka. Manmana bhava mat bhakto, manmana bhava mat bhakto, madhyaji mam namaskuru, madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi yuktaivam, mame vaishyasi yuktaivam, atmanam matparayanaha, atmanam matparayanaha, manmana bhava mat bhakta bhakto, manmana bhava mat bhakto, manmana, only think about me, mana, keep me inside your manas, inside your mind. Bhava mat bhakto, be my devotee, totally surrender to me. Madhyaji mam namaskuru. Madhyaji, aji, worship. Mat, me. Mat, aji, madhyaji, worship me. Mam, only to me. Namaskuru, completely surrender. Fall on my feet. Fall with me. Mame vaishyasi yuktaivam. Only think about me. What will happen? Mame vaishyasi, you will come to me. Yuktaivam, which you will become desirably eligible to come and surrender to me. That is what the advantage. You have bhakti, you have the desire, and you do it without begging. Do your action. What is that action you should do? What action you are devoted, you be in that. Atmanam matparayanaha. Your mind and the body, be in that activity, dedicated to that action, then God will come and stay with you. That's what Bhagavan says. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktaivam Atmanam Matparayanaha. That means when you are totally devoted, inside you, inside your manas, inside your prana, every action you do, you will find the presence of that godly presence. Everything what you do, you think, oh, I am cooking. Oh, this is with God's blessing. I am eating, God's blessing. I am reading, God's blessing. I am teaching, God's blessing. Every action you do is with God's blessing. So God is inside you, nowhere else. So He will be with you all the time. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktaivam atmanam matparayanaha. This is what? Again, same thing what is being told in the 66th sloka. Surrender totally to Bhagavan so that whatever you do become part of his activity, and that is what the method of reaching to Bhagavan. So with this 9th chapter 34th sloka, we completed 9th chapter, which is Krishna Arjuna Samvade, Arjuna Krishna Samvade. What is that? Brahma Vidya, which is given by Brahma Vidya. And what is in the Upanishads? Brahma Vidyayam Upanishads. Yoga Vidya, which is also Yoga Vidya. That part of the discussion which is taking us close to devotion, bhakti, is samaptam here. Right? So, good enough. Now we can decide whether we should go with few more slokas in the next chapter or have some discussions. Maybe we could skip the rest of the slokas and then go to 18th chapter and finish some of the slokas also. That is one method, because next few chapters are all bhakti, which is expanded. These slokas is being expanded, or when Arjuna had questions, he is showing the power of Bhagavan. That is what is happening in the next slokas. Then the last chapter will be a concluding session. If you want, we could take some of the slokas in 18th chapter, or maybe we could have a lot of questions and discussions also.
I have a question, Guruji.
Welcome,
Kishore.
welcome.
Yeah, the question you mentioned while you were talking about the deities that our Pitras, our Pitras going on, they were praying. So we have to remember them and pray to them, and then to give our devotion to them. So how this focus? We have to go and find out, from the beginning of, like for example, those who have got the Gutras, they have to see in the Gutras and see who they were praying at the very beginning of that. That will be quite difficult to find out.
Here, most of the Vedic literature talks about how you are connected with the nature, how your activity is being used for others in the world. That is by Buddha, that is by human being. That is the devotion which you want.
Yeah.
The devotion is not what general common people understand as devotion. It is not doing puja, surrendering something, giving something. That's what Bhagavan says here. Prescriptions are all made later. This is the origin of that prescription probably. So it is connected to Veda, connected to Upanishads.
Yeah.
What is being practiced today are not connected to, some of the slokas are taken from there but not connected to the ritualistic part of it. The rituals have got two portions. One is what is called achara. Achara is what is being prescribed based on what is happening today. Most of the people knows that. That is why it is called achara. But Bhagavan here is not talking about achara. The essence of achara is anushtana. What is anushtana? Whether my action is going to be helpful for somebody else. That anushtana is what is being told here. So in anushtana also, see, when somebody comes to your house, what you should do? I should give him a place to sit. I should give him something to eat. I should give him a place to rest. I should also talk nicely about him. This is only Anushtana. But now, whether somebody comes to a small village, the way he is treated is entirely different from the way he goes to a palace. The way he goes to Prime Minister, the way he treated is entirely different. So that how, where, when, why it happens is only Achara. So Bhagavan Krishna is not talking about Achara at all. He is talking about Anushtana. In the Anushtana, he talks about what will happen if you do like this. What you do, how do you do is not his concern. That is our prarabdha karma. We decide. That is why when we go to Shabarimala, you get a different prasada. When you go to Gujarat, you get jalebi. Probably when you go to another state in Kerala, you will get chicken biryani. You go to Assam, Northeast, they will give you fish as prasada. So what is God wants, nobody knows. We are offering something. So it's all ritualistic. Rituals are never part of Bhagavad Gita, never part of any Vedic literature. That's a later part of addition.
Thank you.
Next week, Dilip ji has got some inconvenience. So don't wait for the email and the registration part and joining in the Zoom meeting. You can send a WhatsApp to me so that I will send you the link. I hope all of you have my number and the WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
So just confirm that you are there. Though I will send it to everybody, but don't look at the email and then not the Zoom. I will operate only with the Gmeet. Google Meet will be the platform.
Okay. And the link will be the same as it is now.
Yeah.
So once we have the link, we can just connect ourselves through the Zoom.
No. Next week, Zoom, that joining will not work. You have to send a WhatsApp. I will send it directly. The link will come to your WhatsApp number if you send a WhatsApp to me.
Okay.
That's what I will do. Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah.
There are some questions on the chat, Dr. TPS.
Oh. The people are here, they could ask.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I put up a question, so people also put some more questions there.
Yeah, you could ask me, that would be better.
So basically, in terms of, there's different Purans and, Shiv Puran is there, there's other documents which are, there's a comparison of, the gods between Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva.
Yeah.
Where they kind of, align who's the biggest or the greatest, and then Shiva says, go and find the end point of this pillar.
Yeah.
Then everybody accepts that, except for Brahma. He's kind of lying, and there's no temple because of that in the whole world, except for one which is for some rituals in India. So looking at that contrast and having Vishnu as part of that story, it creates a confusion to every thought of considering who's the greatest. The gods, who's creating as Brahma, the creator, or Shiva, the kind of destroyer, and Vishnu is the owner of all the souls. What is the reality in terms of? I understand spiritually there's no comparison of anything. Spiritually, when you think of, it's one. Spiritually it's like one source of energy. But why was the comparison done there, and what's the reality of that comparison?
See, origin of all these gods and goddesses is Adi Parashakti. The name itself says Adi Parashakti. The prematorial beginning, first energy. Adi Parashakti. There is a clear definition of Adi Parashakti and how Adi Parashakti gave birth, because everyone has to take birth from mother. So Adi Parashakti is the mother of all the gods and goddesses also. And from there the rest of the people came. So there is no confusion. And what is done is the mother has distributed her job to, or mother is like a government. Government will not rule the country. Government needs different ministers to rule the country.
Right.
So many ministers are created. So those people who are gods and goddesses, I created a beautiful comparison between the Indian ministry departments and the god and goddess concept. Suppose you want education, go to Saraswati. Suppose you want clearance for all the obstacles like disaster management, it must be Ganesha. You want money, finance department, Lakshmi. You want home ministry. See, everybody has given different ministry. So Bharatiya Deva Sankalpa is a beautiful concept of government system. So don't ask me whether Prime Minister is the government. No, Prime Minister is not the government. Presently he is acting as part of the head of the ministry where he is chairing the session. That's it. Some activity comes, defense minister is more powerful than prime minister, because defense is his control. Home minister is much more powerful. Sometimes the prime minister's security is also, except the special protection group, the rest of the people, all the police people are with the home ministry. So without finance nothing can do. Whichever, even prime minister want to do something, without finance approval nothing will work in the government. So finance ministry is more powerful. So we have the God concept here, like Brahma, who is the creator. Yesterday I was giving a talk on education. Today's my WhatsApp message also carried that talk. I quoted because I had 20 minutes of talk. What is 21st century education? I said 21st century there is nothing new, because every teacher has to be an innovative teacher. That is what yesterday's discussion. I said Bharatiya Sankalpam says you are a Saraswati, education minister, then your husband has to be in research department, creativity. Research and education will not go together, they cannot become permanent. So every teacher need to be a creative teacher. That is why we have Brahma and education together, creativity and knowledge together. Vishnu and money. No action without money. Anything which I wanted to do, immediately money is required. So who is powerful? Whether money is powerful or action is powerful. Without money I cannot do action. Without action money will not come. Without education I cannot become a researcher. Without researcher my education will not sustain. So who is powerful? Both are powerful. Now my energy is Shakti, Parvati. Without energy, when I am totally sick, do you think I will be able to meditate? Some people prescribe meditation as a cure for disease. Most stupid thing in the world is, when you are not peaceful, you cannot close your eyes and think about one focus is not possible. Your headache will not make you to focus. And how can somebody say for headache this is the solution? You have stomach problem. Somebody can say meditate, close your eyes and think about some Bhagavan. When your stomach is aching, you will only, when you are feeling hungry, you can think about only food, right? The rest of the things comes later. So Bhagavan's concept says Shakti. You know, there is a saying, if you can sleep well, half of your disease is gone. That means if your disease is there, you sleep, you don't have disease at all. That's why every doctor will ask you, when you go with the full problem of this pain, that pain, chest pain, head pain, everything you say, immediately he will ask a question, how was your sleep yesterday? Oh, it was good, fine. Then it is not an alarming problem. Got it? That is why we have the god of Samadhi, Shiva, and the god of energy, Shakti, made a pair. So what is important? Do you think I can become powerful, I can become into Samadhi where I am in total poverty? No, it's not possible. See, everything has to be balanced. So there is nothing called one is powerful, one is first, the other one is second, other one is deputy and all that. everybody is equally powerful. And who is most powerful? We are the people who are electing all the ministers. So each one of us are powerful.
So is there any Quran or any book which
Yes.
defines
Which language is yours? Your
initial creation of
no. Which is your language?
these gods?
Which is your language? Mother tongue?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Satish. I'm from Punjab, but
Yeah.
you
And
know,
why
I was thinking.
I am asking is, I wrote a book on Adi Parashakti which has got these slokas quoted from what I taught by my guru. I am sure that can be translated, or I can give you that sloka reference somewhere I have to search. I wrote it maybe 10-20 years back. As soon as I learned from my guru what question you asked, I also asked my guru 20 years back. He taught me, I recorded, kept it a book, and that book is called Adi Parashakti.
Okay.
And in that book, that is what I was searching, whether that it's a small book which talks about how Vishnu became Vishnu, how many number of years he was a devotee for Adi Parashakti. So Adi Parashakti gifted him the power of creation, power of maintenance. So those people are did penance for millions of years. That's what it says. That means they were all under the umbrella of Adi Parashakti. See what happened in Bharatiya Indian tradition. Now I am teaching Bhagavad Gita because somebody popularized Bhagavad Gita. The other day somebody was asking me why Buddhism, Jainism. I said they did not learn Bhagavad Gita. That is why it came.
Yeah.
Then somebody asked why Buddhist and Jainist did not learn Bhagavad Gita. I said that time it was not that popular. Because Bhagavad Gita is much older. Unfortunately, that was not exposed to them. Correct?
Right.
Similarly, most of the literature was not exposed to us also. There were a lot of people who popularized Krishna. Therefore, Bhagavatam itself is today Krishna Bhagavatam.
Yes.
But actually, Bhagavatam is not a Krishna Bhagavatam. In my childhood, in early childhood, 1960s, 1970s, my mother taught us Krishna, Vishnu slokas. Everything was Devi only. We had Devi Mahatmyam. I by-hearted Devi Mahatmyam in my childhood. But I never by-hearted a single sloka of Krishna. Krishna became popular because he became modern, he became active. Most of the people started popularizing. So he was marketed well. That is why we are all learning Bhagavad Gita. But doesn't matter. All that primordial, when we talk, we get such questions, we can also say that there is a reference. Maybe Einstein's father and mother we don't know, but Einstein we know. That's good enough. But who created also we will ask when we go to Einstein, right? His biodata, when it is written, we will write his mother was so and so, father was so and so.
Right.
That is good enough. Okay. See, I remember, Madhuram, I don't even know the meaning. It took 42 years of my life. When I become 48 years, I started learning what I learned in my childhood when I was 5 years, 6 years old. Madhuram Memmad Geda Bhakti Mahasha Pranama Harudyame, Heladumra Dumra Lojavaje, He Sanamunardini Sheshi Kritarta Bizanje, Nityedusum Bhavage Sumbatum Zani Samaraja Gedos. This is how we chanted. Without knowing the meaning, it was to be chanted every day evening. Then we will get a dinner. So why did I chant it and learn it? Because I want to finish it so that my dinner is ready. No Bhagavan Bhagavati was there in front of me. But then I realized, oh, what is this sloka? I went and searched and then found out it is Devi Mahatmyam Dhyana sloka.
Right.
But we forgot. We forgot. Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the Prabhupada brought this Hare Rama Hare Krishna movement.
Yeah.
Everybody hearing about Gita.
No, I think that was one moment. The most fantastic moment was Chinmaya Swami, Chinmayananda. Chinmayananda is the one who took Bhagavad Gita to public. He clearly said, nobody else other than Chinmayananda. And unfortunately, what has happened is Chinmayananda's Bhagavad Gita, all that teaching was only in West in America, and most of the jokes, including the jokes, are only American context. And unfortunately, the Swamijis who are all in the same dress of Chinmaya, full stop, comma, smile, everything copied with a lot of multiple number of times hearing without even understanding the context of the joke, they tell the same joke here also. That is one of the best thing, because they become totally devoted to Chinmaya Swami. And he was able to make sure that Chinmaya people are progressing it. Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Mutt was totally Vedantic, but they also thought it will not work. Therefore, they also started Bhagavad Gita. All that Puri, you look at Chidananda Puri, all those people are actually basically Shaivates, Shaktates, either Shakti, Devi, or but if they wanted to publicly become popular, they have to capture Bhagavad Gita. So they also started talking about Bhagavad Gita. They understood Bhagavad Gita is more popular, more public, more familiar to people. Therefore, it became. So what do I do is, when I remember,
And also,
yeah.
And also the other reason which people do understand, the human nature has become more materialistic than spiritual.
Yeah.
That's why only Bhagavad Gita was the only link to have that people to go to spiritual world.
Yeah.
What happened was we follow westernization also, and people have started going into materialism more.
Yeah.
So there is no other book, or even I think Americans have started reading a lot of Gita.
Yeah.
And they have come back to the spiritual world, especially Russians and all the
Everyone.
European culture. Everybody is going to spiritual now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Sadish ji, if tomorrow onwards you publish lot of Devi Sankalpa books, that also become popular. See, Gita Press in Gorakhpur started selling it in every railway station.
It will come. The thing is, as we go progress, we'll be more spiritual. Then we'll think of, okay, where did this spirit come from?
Yeah.
And then we'll go to the Devi. I think that's the whole reason it's going towards that.
See, for example,
So
my book on Dashamahavidya, not many people read on the internet, but somebody reads it, they will never leave me. I have got a lot of such people, which I wrote probably 15 years back. They will hunt somewhere, find somewhere, they will discuss with me hours together. Because they are all core devotees of Devi, and they wanted to become Kamakhya temple. They go and then surrender themselves. They want such puja. They wanted to do that in Hyderabad. It is available. Bangalore it is available. They hunt for such requirements. It's like every sweet is made out of jaggery, or maybe sugar, or maybe wheat, or maybe some other powder. It can be any form of wheat, right? But then the type of mix which you make it will make it to different taste. So every Deva Sankalpa, Devi Sankalpas are all the mix like different sweets available in the market. One have a liking towards Gulab Jamun, other has got liking towards Jalebi. That's all the difference, I think.
Right.
Everything, concept and content is one and the same. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Actually, why before every mantra,
Yeah.
Om is prefixed? Like Om Durgaya Namaha, Om Vakratundaya Namaha,
Yeah.
Om Adityaya Namaha. Why?
Actually, not on every slokas and every chanting Om should be there. Om is only when I perform yaga yatna, connecting to me to the same concept of Pranava mantra. Pranavam is the starting. Every mantra is the universe sound. There are a lot of people did a lot of research on that. What is to be done is you keep a big funnel with this maybe hundreds and hundreds of meters height, with a diameter of large diameter, and at the end you keep listening, there will be a sound of Om. That is because anything which is revolving around, you can see when Buddhism also have got a bell which they keep on rotating. Say once they rotate and then stop it, you don't rotate it, but automatically it revolves around its own axis. You hear the sound, it will become Om. So Om is the starting of every mantra. That is the prematorial, the first seed of every mantra. That is why the seed mantras are given, Om is given. It is not that everybody who does chanting starts with Om. But every pujari who does puja, every person who does yatna, yaga, he is supposed to chant with Om. So even if you look at Lalita Sahasranamam, Vishnu Sahasranamam, normal chanting Om is removed. But when a pujari does with a deity, with a lamp, he will prefix Om, 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 Om. Because that connects him to that ability to go to the starting or the origin of every activity which he does. That's it. Everyone.
I think Lalit Gardner has raised her hand. Maybe she has a question.
Yeah. Nilaya will always have a question. You.
That's my new name.
Yeah.
Professor, that thing came to my mind. The thing about comparison. Why? Because we always talk in general, and then we make comparison. And I was listening to yourself. It feels like we talk in a language son and the teachings, because everything we talk about spirituality and blah, blah, everybody looks like they have to be very, very serious. But then there's so much jokes like this funny, and then to cheer this up, because isn't that knowledge to make human beings happy and joyful?
Is that question what you typed in the chat box? The hierarchy, how does it make people happy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I got it.
Yeah.
Mentions teachers all shall be happy. Now tell me, now I am discussing Bhagavad Gita and Nilaya is listening to me. Now when Nilaya is listening to me, assume that you think of some other teacher and keep on comparing. Will you be happy or unhappy? There are two possibilities. Either the earlier teacher was better than me. Then you will think, yeah, the teacher was better. Now the teacher is not with me. That's why you are with me now. Then you becomes unhappy saying that, no, I am wasting my time. I would have gone with that and I would have learned much more. I lost all the chance. You become unhappy. Second, assume that I am better and the earlier teacher was bad. Then also you will think of the same thing. Yeah, why I did not meet him earlier? I wasted a lot of time being with them. So Bhagavan says, when you are anyway into Bhagavad Gita and you are listening to God Krishna, when you are with God Krishna, it is always natural to say, yeah, that is better. Is it your mother is the most beautiful lady in the world? You say, I love my mother. There may be much more beautiful people. Doesn't matter. Everyone has got their own child. We don't look at the child's beauty. We will say, you are the most cutest, you are the best, you are the sweetest, everything we will say. Like Bhagavan is telling you, when you are with me, I am the greatest, I am the topmost, I am the best. If you don't have, you are not going to listen to me. So these are all, in teaching methodology, there is a Bloom's taxonomy. In Bloom's taxonomy, the first idea is how to attract the attraction of the people so that you become devoted totally so that you will listen. A KG student is able to learn better because the teacher is their God. As they go to higher class in PG, they don't understand anything because they don't believe the teacher at all. See, the first idea is you should have belief. You should have faith. When you have faith, you will listen. Then what do is you go out and then start thinking about all that logically and then see, is there any logic in what he said? You can compare, you can criticize, you can judge. All that can be done. You are permitted to do that. But first, attention, listening comes only when you have Shraddha. That's what Bhagavan earlier said. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Only if you have Shraddha, you will get knowledge. But still the doubt to Joseph. Arjuna kept on asking doubts. So Bhagavan has to tell, first you believe what I am saying. He says you can do it. Then Arjuna says, no, it's not possible. I cannot stop the wind. Again he has to say, if you keep on practicing, you will be able to do it. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Keep practicing, then you will be able to do it. All that is done, still he is not able to believe. Therefore, now also he was not believing. 9th chapter also not good enough. Next chapters, Bhagavan will show what powerful man he is. That's going to come in the next chapter to show that I am the most powerful. And every god will come from his mouth, from ears, from eyes, and every part of his body will be filled with whatever you can think of. Everything is inside him. He will show the globe inside. It happened to Krishna when he was a small baby. The mother did not believe that Krishna was a god. And then what he did was he opened his mouth and shown the globe inside, the earth inside. And see, the earth is inside my mouth, he said. That's a beautiful scene. Where that was the first place where Bhagavan has shown. Many places Bhagavan did not show, God did not show what and how he is. Don't think that the Vishwarupa Darshanam, that Vishwarupa Darshanam is not what is shown in Bhagavad Gita first time. Don't think like that. If you have learned Krishna's story, you know that, Vishwarupa Darshanam, 11th chapter. The 11th chapter Vishwarupa Darshanam is not the first time. Earlier also, his mother has seen his actual form. Vishwarupa Darshanam has seen by mother first. Got it? So he has proved himself he is the highest many times. That is part of everybody's job. When I sell a product, will I say that this is second quality or not equivalent to? I will say this is the best flask, this is the best book, this is the best watch. That's how I should sell. That's all marketing. That's what I'm saying. Krishna's book is totally marketing. Don't think that the whole Bhagavad Gita as it is told by Krishna. I don't believe. It is not Krishna who wrote it. Krishna would have briefly told, Vyasa would have expanded, and many more people would have added many more slokas to that. Quite possible. I don't think Krishna will speak about him that much. No. If he was a person who is going to speak about him that much, he will not ask Dharmaputra to go and meet Bhishma and then ask him to give 1,000 names, Vishnu Sahasranamam. He did not even venture to market him. So I am sure it is not written by or chanted by Krishna totally. Some slokas he would have done. Many people would add it. So what you see as most popular, praising him, don't take it he himself said. No, I don't believe.
So, Professor, is there something similar to miracles in the Bhagavad Gita story?
It is not a miracle. Miracle is in your mind. Miracle is in your manas. It's all sankalpa. You are creating miracle. You are thinking about it. The whole thing can be seen as a sankalpa philosophically. 5 Pandavas, Kauravas, all the advisors, teachers, God, everything is inside you. Your manas is Arjuna. Your Atma is Krishna. Your buddhi is the knowledge, Veda. Like that you can see. Sankalpas can be seen. It's all Sankalpa. Sankalpa means your imagination. Your imagination can create the way you wanted to look at Bhagavad Gita. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Shall I?
Ask Kanakadurga straight away.
Good evening, sir. I have a question that what is the difference between Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, Mahabhagavatam?
Bhagavad Gita, yeah.
The story is
No, Bhagavad Gita is in between.
from this
Bhagavad Gita is in between Mahabharata, the 10th day after Bhishma has fallen. What dialogue happened between Arjuna and Krishna as a playback story described in the 10th chapter during Mahabharata war by a question from Dhritarashtra to Sanjaya. That is how Bhagavad Gita starts. Bhagavatam is the bio-sketch of the life story of Krishna. Where did he took birth? How did he took birth? Where did he took his education? Who was his friends? What are all the jokes happened in the childhood? All that is called Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is the life story of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is the war affair in which Krishna played the role of motivating Arjuna. It's very distinctly different. Even in Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is not well explained. There is only a mention that this happened. That's only a small part of it. So if you want to know Krishna, it is not Bhagavad Gita, it is Bhagavatam to be learned. Most popular storytelling in the whole world may be Bhagavatam. And that story was told to, there is a lot of different stories. After Mahabharata, the ruler was somebody else, and then Parikshit came. Parikshit was a king and he had a snake bite curse on him, so he was almost to die. That time he wanted to listen to his great grandfather's story, Krishna's story, and then Bhagavatam was taught. That's how Bhagavatam came. And his life was only 7 days. Therefore, Bhagavatam is prescribed for listening. Anybody who want to go closer to death, have a peaceful, no fear of death, then you have to listen to Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is not for peaceful, close to death, for life action, for winning every strikes and every examination in the world, every conflict in the world. If you want to listen Bhagavad Gita, you must listen. Nice question. I don't think anybody would have explained like this. I got a chance.
TP, I heard like this. We have 4 Vedas, and Upanishads are the crude form of Vedas. Then Bhagavad Gita became the ultimate crude form.
Yeah. Actually, not 4 Vedas, only 3 Vedas.
3 Vedas.
The 4th Veda is never counted in Veda.
Yeah.
That is Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda. Atharva Veda is entirely separate. Atharva Veda is never into Upanishads form, never into Gita also. Atharva Veda is probably the oldest than these 3 Vedas. These 3 Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, is Sattvic Veda. And Atharva Veda is more primitive, where I want. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, I don't want. So these are the 2 differences. So Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, content is one and the same. One is textual, second one is ritualistic, one is theory, next is practical, other one is popularizing. Management concept like marketing. So Sama Veda is marketing, Yajur Veda is ritual, Rig Veda is theory. These 3, when it was taught, people started asking a lot of questions. And question answer, like you have a textbook, practical book, and a marketing book. People keep on asking question and explanations were given like a guide and question answer. Examination to pass, people don't read textbooks. Shortcut method, question answer is only being taught. That is what is called Upanishads. And each Upanishad is based on which student asked and what question, what answer she got or he got it. They are categorized into different Upanishads. So every Veda has got different branches of Upanishads. All that together will be more than 1000 books. And in which Aranyakam is different. There are different parts. Veda also has got Upaveda, Vedanga, different forms, which has got fighting, art. Every branch of science in the world is part of the Vedic literature. But you don't see any of those in the Atharva Veda, in which some of the Upanishads been condensed and then took into Bhagavad Gita.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Somewhere I listened that Ayurvedam is took from this Atharvana Veda.
Yeah,
is
that
that
is
right, sir?
Yeah, that is because Ayurveda has got surgery, which is not sattvic. Sometimes you have to cut, sometimes you have to give medicines. It is not I don't want is not what is to be taught. So Atharva Veda also has got the Ayurveda as one of its branches. And then at the end you have all these Vedas are not directly, people cannot learn it, so people started making Itihasa and Purana. That is why we have Ramayana, Bharata and all that, Mahabharatam and all that. Atharva Veda also has got Upanishads. I am not saying it is not there, in which you will see lot of Upanishads, very very famous. Most of the Prashna Upanishad is one example where questions can be asked. And Rahasya Upanishad is there. Rama Rahasya Upanishad, Atma Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad. So many are there. Sharada Upanishad, Sarabha Upanishad, Pashupata Upanishad, Devi Upanishad. All these are Atharva Veda Upanishads also. Mandukya Upanishad is also there. Mahanarayana Upanishads. So many will be there.
There's one person raising hand, but the video is also not reflecting.
That is Nilaya. No problem. Good enough, Dilipji?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I
So
have another session.
yeah, maybe all of you can send a WhatsApp to me on my number so that the next week link can be sent to you.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless you.